Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. As they say, one book closes, another one opens. Now we are in Book 2, Earth, and we are starting with Chapter 1, the Avatar State. So, yeah, the finale of Season 1, pretty hype, huh?
Yep, now it's going to calm down for a little bit and pull into some more deeper things.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I feel like it needs to calm down. They kind of, like, upset the entire cosmic balance. So, I mean...
It's like, damn.
Well, yeah, they killed the moon spirit, resurrected it with the princess of the Northern Water Tribe, which, you know,
sucks.
Sokka losing out on a pretty cool relationship, but, well.
And she died.
Well, she didn't die. She just became the moon spirit.
Yeah, but in a sense. She's, you know.
Well, you got to think, every time he's looking up at the moon, he's just like, "Are you there, Yue?" And she'll just be like, "Yes." And he's like, "Cool, wait, does that mean you watch me when I pee?"
Wait a minute, I just thought about when the Avatar goes into the Avatar state, he might be able to see her.
Maybe, because she is now a spirit.
Maybe, yeah. But Sokka can't go to the spirit world.
No.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But, okay, so, Earth, when this is the chapter which they go into the largest kingdom in the world, which is the Earth Kingdom, and it's fabled city of Ba Sing Se, which is pretty much, it's a parallel for one city in particular, and when we see it, y'all will be able to make the parallel with it whenever you see it. But that being said, though,
I don't know if it's a spoiler, but I've seen like a character that I'm interested about that I know is probably going to show up in this season if I had to guess. So I'm interested about that.
It's not really too
I have one question
but...
to ask you without giving away any spoilers for Micah. Green eyes?
I can't remember.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I've like, you all have talked a lot about this show in the past, so I know there's like the Boulder guy. I imagine he'll show up.
The Boulder, voiced by Mick Foley, Mr. Mankind himself.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
He's like, the Boulder does not abide by your rules.
That's not who I'm thinking about, though.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. I haven't, as far as talking to you guys, I don't think I've ever spoiled anything too drastic. So
I've tried that
I've
too.
really kept my mouth shut on a lot of the spoiler.
Because I remember we watched the Nostalgia Critic thing back in the day of the movie, and he made some comparisons because he loved the show. So I mean, I already knew that Zuko was the blue spirit and stuff. I mean,
yeah, but Doug's criticisms were always just like they were merited.
Well, to be honest, the blue spirit thing wasn't too much of a spoiler because that was kind of easy to guess. It's almost like they just kind of wanted you to know. You know, they didn't really try to hide it too much, even in the show. And then it wasn't like a giant reveal that he was a blue spirit. You pretty much knew that by seeing the things on the wall, the mask, and
I don't know. I didn't put two and two together.
We also
not the first time you see him, you don't. But like a couple episodes later, you're like, oh.
Well, we also saw Emperor Zhao meet his demise. Mm-hmm. So we are now down like a main arcing villain. So who shall we have to replace?
Oh, we kind of got that revealed already.
Yeah, we did. So Azula, prepare for her, and prepare for episode 1, the Avatar State. Here we go.
I kind of want what's her name to come back on that crazy mole panther thing.
Oh, the bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
She seemed nice.
Yeah, apparently Iroh thought she was pretty nice too.
Man knows what's up.
It's like
all the voice actors and everything are a year older in this.
Yeah.
You'll probably notice a little slight changes in some of the voice.
Well, as the show goes on, time passes too. Mm-hmm. It was 1 year from the beginning of the show when they needed to beat the Fire Lord.
Just a nightmare. I was in the Avatar state, but I was outside my body watching myself. It was scary. I was scary.
I want you to have this. This amulet contains water from the spirit oasis.
The water has unique properties. Don't lose it. To begin your earthbending training with King Boomy.
yip yip. Say hi to
Hey! Boomy!
This is what I've been missing. Who knew floating on a piece of driftwood for 3 weeks with no food or water would make one so tense? I see. It's the anniversary, isn't it?
3 years ago today, I was banished. I want my father not to think I'm worthless.
I'm sure he doesn't. Why would he banish you if he didn't care?
Iroh, you're not helping. And here she is. Princess Azula.
She's clearly very humble.
Yeah.
Clearly!
My brother and my uncle have disgraced the Fire Lord and brought shame on all of us.
I'm afraid the tides will not allow us to bring the ship into port before nightfall.
I'm sorry, Captain, but I do not know much about the tides. Can you explain something to me?
Of course, Your Highness.
Do the tides command this ship?
No, Princess.
And if I were to have you thrown overboard, would the tides think twice about smashing you against the rocky shore? Maybe you should worry less about the tides, who've already made up their mind about killing you, and worry more about me.
I just feel dumb when the ship sinks.
What a ruthless bitch.
I am General Fong, and welcome to all of you, great heroes. Appa, Momo, brave Sokka, the mighty Katara.
Mighty Katara? I like that.
You're ready to face the Fire Lord now.
What? No, I'm not.
Aang still needs to master all 4 elements.
Why? With the kind of power he possesses, power enough to destroy hundreds of battleships in a matter of minutes?
Aang can only do those things when he's in the Avatar state.
So it's decided then. I'll help you figure out how to get into the Avatar state, and then you'll face your destiny.
No, nothing's decided. We already have a plan.
While you take your time learning the elements, the war goes on. Every day the Fire Nation takes lives. People are dying, Aang. You could end it, now.
That's interesting.
Perfect.
Lightning.
One hair out of place.
Almost isn't good enough.
That's a little freaky.
Still not glowing.
A for effort.
Now I will join the 4 elements into one. Water, earth, fire, air. 4 elements together as one.
Achoo.
We have to find a way.
Hello, brother. Uncle.
What are you doing here?
In my country, we exchange a pleasant hello before asking questions. Father regrets your banishment. He wants you home. Did you hear me?
I'm sure your brother simply needs a moment.
Don't interrupt, Uncle! I still haven't heard my thank you.
He wants me back?
I can see you need time to take this in. I'll come to call on you tomorrow.
Every day, more and more people die. I'm already 100 years late. Defeating the Fire Lord is the only way to stop this war. I have to try it.
I can't watch you do this to yourself. I'm not coming tomorrow.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. I have never known my brother to regret anything.
Did you listen to Azula? Fathers realize how important family is to him.
I don't think we should be trying to bring on the Avatar state.
Sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think the General will be mad?
What can he say? You're the Avatar.
I can only reach the Avatar state when I'm in genuine danger.
I see. I was afraid you'd say that. Men! Attack the Avatar!
What are you doing?
I believe we are about to get results.
Get all your
That's
dudes
like-
killed is what you're about to do.
Freaking chocobo riders back there.
Your enemy. I won't fight you.
Oh.
Ouch.
I'm I'm so glad you decided to come.
Are we ready to depart, Your Highness?
Set our course for home, Captain.
You heard the princess. We're taking the prisoners home.
Good job.
Your Highness,
Whee!
You lied to me!
Like I've never done that before.
What's going on?
The general's gone crazy. He's trying to force Aang into the Avatar state. Good bird horse thingy.
Maybe you can avoid me, but she can't.
Oh no.
Problem.
Piss him off, dude.
I can't move. Don't hurt her.
Katara!
Please! You don't need to do this!
Apparently, I do.
What chaos have you wrought, my friend?
That's kick-ass.
You know, Father blames Uncle for the loss at the North Pole. And he considers you a miserable failure for not finding the Avatar.
Woo! Good job, Iroh.
Just kicked her ass.
Your friend is safe. It was just a trick to trigger the Avatar stick.
Damn.
It's time you learned. The Avatar state is a defense mechanism. The glow is a combination of all your past lives, focusing their energy through your body. In the Avatar state, you are at your most powerful. But you're also at your most vulnerable. If you are killed in the Avatar state, the reincarnation cycle will be broken, and the Avatar will cease to exist.
You done hecked up.
Well,
they asked for it.
Yeah.
Though.
That's what the Avatar state
I'm
is
sorry,
capable of.
Katara. I hope you never have to see me like that again.
Ha! Are you joking? That was almost perfect. I guess we'll figure it out on the way to the Fire Nation.
How about no?
Anybody got a problem with that?
Do you still want an escort to Omashu?
No.
I think we're all set.
Damn.
Oh, just want to watch more. This is probably one of the seasons I could watch the whole season one sitting. I probably
Yeah, it's a great season.
I thought you guys said it was supposed to calm down.
Well, it did some more spiritual stuff that's more equivocal to the plot versus it happening just to happen. Because what happened at the end of season 1, it happened because of like duress and all that. Whereas here, not only did it happen by duress, but we also learned a very important part of the Avatar state.
I'm just saying, when it ends with dudes cutting their top knots off, that's something I take pretty personally.
Well, of course, dude.
Well,
yeah, because
Japanese tradition, that was one of the. Explain that to me, Micah.
Well,
you probably know a little bit more about it.
Literally, like their hairstyle denoted a samurai, so it's like it was the two swords, but then also like the top knot. So
Yeah.
if that was cut off, it was either because you did something dishonorable. Well, in any case, you were in exile. either your master was gone or you did something.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what that represents.
You were effectively a Ronin.
They're officially exiled from the Fire Nation.
Because I mean, they were already exiled, but now it's like, to me, that seemed like they were saying like we're not Fire Nation anymore.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, that's
from
what I get
from a
that.
prince and a general, the high-ranking general. Yeah. That being the only life they've ever known, that now in exile, that's like a huge life change.
Of course.
And that was like almost every ancient warrior culture, because like Vikings, like thralls had to have short hair. Only like true like Viking citizens could have long hair.
Yeah, and they would often get fairy twists. They would, their hair would get knotted up and sort of look like dread.
Because I guess like in ancient cultures, like to have long hair was kind of like a sign of like affluence, because you had time to take care of it.
Well, the same thing with beards as well, because beard meant age. Beard meant that you had a sort of experience to your life, and if you had a beard, that's one thing, but if it was gray, that meant that you effectively were wise enough to live to an old age, so you would have some knowledge. And that's actually, I learned about this in theater class. Old masks that had beards were often used as like people who would give advice, or people who would who would often be like a guide for someone.
Yeah, I mean, like the wizards, that's a cliche. Like, the old man with the beard is.
I'm the only one on this couch without a beard.
Well, I used to have a beard bigger than Micah's, and then I shaved it off for New Year's.
I should grow out my goatee. I should do it. I should just do that just a little bit.
You know what you need, dude? You need like the mustache and you need the devil patch.
Well, I mean,
dude, that would actually be a cool idea. If I could get it out to a point.
You don't
like the Anton LaVey looking.
Yeah.
Look real evil.
Grease it out. Yeah, grease it out like it. Because I've got sort of that, but mine doesn't go to a point that much. Yeah. I need to shave it to do that.
It's a brave new world. You can be wise without a beard. I mean, look at Uncle.
Look at Uncle.
One more thing.
One more thing.
I thought he had a beard, though.
No, he's clean shaven. He had the crazy hair on the side.
Right.
But...
Jackie, you must learn how to get the talismans back.
You are bad influence on Jade. You are way more Fabito. You are way more Fabito.
That was a fun
I love that show. I think when we were watching their the tsunami thing the other day when it came in there.
Yeah.
Like I kind of didn't know how to take it. Were they making fun of it, or were they just?
Yes.
Kids WB had some amazing ass shows. I mean,
no, they did.
Let's I know this is kind of taking a different direction, but Kids WB first of all had Pokemon.
Yeah.
Do we realize how big Pokemon is?
That's big.
I would say
still going.
Yeah, I'd say it's just as big, if not bigger, than Dragon Ball Z from Toonami.
Yep.
But Toonami did reach a different age group. But I think Pokemon still reaches an all age group. I still enjoy watching Pokemon to this day.
Popularity has waned immensely because it used to be mainstream. Because keep in mind, all the movies were released here in the States. Like the first 3 big movies were released here in the States.
U2 Strikes Back. Pokemon, the first movie.
Yep, and then after that was Pokemon 2000, and then there was Pokemon The Unknown movie, which had a limited release. Mm-hmm. And then after that, they stopped releasing them in theaters.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of channeled down off its hype after the original 151, and I think they tried to revamp it with a lot of adding a bunch of new, but they added too many new Pokemon at one time. Like, did they really have to add an extra 100 Pokemon all at once? It was like, God, I can't keep up.
Effectively, if they would have released like 20 or 30 new Pokemon
like a few here and there, a few there, maybe some crossbreeds, maybe some ancient ones, maybe some fossil Pokemon that we never heard about.
I think that wouldn't have overwhelmed the American populace too much, whereas the Japanese populace, it's still popular.
I wish they would have got into breeding with it. But that takes me to another thing.
They did.
When you come out shows, Pokemon was unavoidable. Unavoidable as a kid. You saw it everywhere and everything. And to be honest, I don't know why that didn't happen with this show, because I think this show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, is one of the absolute top, probably #1 top cartoon ever made.
Well, actually,
go
ahead.
I think it was because it was too late. If it had come out just a couple of years earlier, that might have happened, but I think this came out just around the time that a lot of people were actually either switching to like Toonami and Cartoon Network, or stopping.
Can we look up what year Avatar: The Last Airbender aired?
Oh, it was 2002 to 2005.
Personally, I did not watch it on Nickelodeon because I did not watch Nickelodeon anymore by the time it came out.
That might be why I didn't watch it either, because around the age of, you said 2002, so I was probably around 12, 13 years old. I was going through a lot of different, let's say, changes in the way I watch TV. And so I was watching more G4 Tech TV, as into video game stuff.
X-Play.
Halo had came out in 2001.
Yeah.
I was into Halo, and let's be honest, the internet had pretty much taken over my focus, and it wasn't cable TV anymore.
I mean, 2002, I was like 8th grade.
And did they have a Nickelodeon at night? Because I was never...
Nick at Night, Snick, which was like their late night programming that they did on the weekends, they stopped that, I think around 1999, around 2000. Because I remember...
As a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch TV during the day, only on Saturday mornings.
Okay.
I watched TV at nighttime after my chores and all my working and everything was done.
Nick at Night was pretty much like old school programming, like I Love Lucy, Bewitched, like a bunch of... And it was like that for the longest time.
I Love Lucy. I can't handle that.
Sorry.
That and that damn what's that little girl? God almighty.
Little girl.
Yeah, little redhead girl with the
Little Orphan Annie.
Huh?
Little Orphan Annie.
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple.
Oh, Shirley.
Oh.
Yeah, I couldn't stand that girl. I was like, oh, I can't watch this.
Animal crackers in my soup.
No.
Please, but my whole thing about Pokemon is Pokemon did not grow with its audience.
It did not. That is true.
It is one of the many, or one of the few series actually that like I watched when I was a kid that is still going, that didn't make a single effort to grow with its audience. And I know there's a lot of people that are still my age that enjoy it, but personally, I get tired of shit if you don't update it after a while. And there's not really ever been an update
the original.
the way Pokemon
I've watched the
works.
original over and over about 4 or 5 times. The original, what was it called? OVA?
Indigo League?
Indigo League.
Yeah, Indigo. Yeah.
I didn't even know it was called Indigo League until I seen it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I was like, what's Indigo League? Oh, this is the original.
Yeah, because Indigo, then Johto, and then Kanto.
Yeah, I guess you're
well,
right.
Kanto was the first region.
The same thing.
It was basically the same thing, but I was kind of content with it. I just wish they would have stuck with that world and just kept adding a little to it. You know, and kind of expanding the universe a little bit.
I think I would have maybe been more interested in the anime if they could have managed to tell different stories with it besides just following Ash for eons.
Now, they did do a Pokemon series later that actually did follow Red. It followed the Red trainer.
But for some reason, though, I just couldn't get into that. I think it was because of the new Pokemon, though. I didn't know who a lot of these were.
It started back at, like, Red. At like your original star Pokemon from Red, which was Charmander, and your Charmander. The fight scenes actually in it actually disturbed people a little bit because there was a fight scene between a Charmander and a Squirtle where the Squirtle like initiated a bite on Charmander, and then Charmander was on the ground screaming. It's like, oh, okay, that's a little bit too real.
Dude, I thought you were going to tell me the Squirtle actually put out the Charmander flame and killed it.
No. They didn't do that, but you saw its flame like wane down.
The other thing too is like Pokemon has a lot of stuff in the descriptions of the Pokemon that had the potential to actually be taken a little darker and a little more adult.
There's some nightmare fuel in Pokemon.
Yeah, there is.
The comics, I mean, got pretty violent.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not just going to sit here and shit on Pokemon for 30 minutes because I could, but I'm not.
That's fine. It's fine.
So I basically found Persona 5 and I was like, this is if Pokemon grew with its audience, basically.
Yes.
And so now I'm more of a fan of stuff like that because I'm just like, this is kind of what I wanted from Pokemon, but I got it in a
really good
different form.
example of a show or franchise that grew with its audience. Probably one of the best examples ever was Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry Potter did grow with its audience.
At the time you watched the first one, it's like, oh wow, I was the same age as Harry when he got inducted into Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And I felt like I went along with that journey with him.
And by the end, it got pretty damn dark.
By the end of it, it was like, oh, I'm 18, 19, 20 years old now. This is what I want to see. It's like
I was trying to think. There's something else that did that too. I'm trying to think what it was. It's something that like I've liked since I was a kid that I still like, and I'm trying to think. And I'm blanking because of my ADD right now. Fuck. I'll think of it eventually, probably. It's either a show or a game series.
I didn't watch this for the first time until I was about 20 years old, to be honest. Like, it was already over the box set. My friend had it, and she was like, "This is probably my favorite show of all time." I'm like, "Really?
Well-
Avatar? That little kids show?" And she goes, "No, you need to watch it." I'm like,
Okay.
I'll give it a few episodes, and 4 or 5 episodes in, I was like, "This is all right," But it just slowly started getting better and better and better, and by toward the mid-season, end of season 1, I was like, "This is pretty cool. I can't wait to watch the next episode." And as soon as season 2 hit, I was like, "Yep, I gotta watch the next episode." Then the next one. Now, I think I binge watched the entire or all 3 seasons within about 2 weeks.
Well, one last interesting fact: the Nostalgia Critic, the Toonami review that we did. Did you know that he ranked Avatar his favorite cartoon of all time?
I could believe it.
Zelda.
Zelda, that's right. Yeah. Zelda did grow with its audience.
Yeah, because it kind of started out as like a really kind of cartoony style type thing.
Well,
and as they've gone along, they've gotten a little more like realistic with each one, and a little more.
Well, you also have to think of Zelda generationally, because they often have cycles where they go lighthearted, mid-grade, darker, lighthearted, mid-grade, darker. And because you look at the original Zelda games, and then you get to Link to the Past. Link to the Past has some pretty dark stuff in it, and then the cycle restarts. The cycle restarts, and then next thing you know, you have Ocarina of Time, and then you have Majora's Mask.
Ocarina of Time gets pretty dark.
No, no, I'd say Ocarina's mid-grade. Majora's Mask is where it gets dark.
Majora's Mask is like horror Zelda.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
And then it started over again. Then you got Wind Waker, and then you got Twilight Princess.
Then you got
Skyward Sword.
Yeah. I think Twilight Princess visually was my favorite, but that only resulted as the backlash from Wind Waker because people freaked out about how cartoony it was.
Well, it's because going back and playing Wind Waker in HD.
I didn't play Wind Waker for a long time. When I did,
I was like,
it.
"Oh my god, I can't believe they did this."
I
from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which is detailed, to this, I was like, "No."
Playing Wind Waker in HD is honestly one of the best decisions I've ever made. Because
it's a great game.
It's
an amazing
game. It's because the GameCube couldn't put out the visuals that it was capable of. But then you see it in HD, where it's fully able to spread its wings, and you see like the vastness of the ocean. The graphics are able to like jump up and hit you, and it's just like, damn, this is actually a really good game. And it took a long time for me to realize that.
Yeah, it took me a while to get over the art style of it, but once I did, I realized, hey, this is actually it's one of the highest rated Zelda games there is.
Okay,
it's its own flavor.
We need to move on. We need to move on from this, gentlemen. So again,
this train around.
Again, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I guess until next time, everybody. Signing off. I'm Nate.
Micah.
Jacob.
I'm Nick.
We'll see you all in the next one, everybody. Peace out.